Welcome, everybody, to Discover Your Ideal Body with Christine. I have a very special guest today. My guest is Marisa Miles. I have known Marissa for about 8 years now. Marisa Miles is the owner of Village Skin Studio. History for me, Marissa and I became acquainted because she was my esthetician. I needed a facial. So that was my first introduction to Marissa. In addition to being an esthetician, um, Marissa has been an instructor at SUNY Orange, teaching the concepts of wellness for about 21 years now. Back it up, I'm going to say she's also an esthetician on the West Coast. So she works East Coast and West Coast, which I think is pretty cool. And even prior to that, she has some acting ability in her blood for all of this. So, as I described Marissa, she is a rainbow of a human being, super intelligent, super smart. And I'm just really happy to know her and to have her on today as a guest. Thank you for joining us today, Marissa.
Thank you, Christine, and thanks for that great intro.
Yeah. So, tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got here. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm curious too.
All right. So going back, yes, I did start out many years ago, pounding the pavement in New York, looking for that acting career, trying to become an actress. It was the 80s. It was really tough to kind of get a job back then in the field. I got a lot of jobs as an extra, or if I got a paid part, it was a small part. And when it wouldn't pay my bills, I had to change my course. So the two other things that had interested me were health and beauty. Health, not only health and beauty, health, beauty, and exercise. Not only was it health and beauty and exercise that was my interest, it was a way for me to still have my foot in the door when it came to an acting career, whether I was doing makeup or hair or was their wellness consultant or I was the RTE on set. So it was a way for me kind of RTs responding to emergencies, their first aid director or CPR. If anybody needed something on set, I would be able to go on set and help out.
All right.
So again, and it was another skill that I could use, that if they needed a part, someone to play a nurse or someone to play a professional rescuer or whatever it might be, I had the skills to do that. So really, it was just a way for me to keep my foot in the door. But I really did fall in love with fitness and skincare. So 21 years teaching wellness and 15 years as an esthetician, they all kind of go hand in hand. And believe it or not, it still goes hand in hand with the entertainment world too, because it's all about being creative, health and beauty, fitness, it all ties in together.
Makes sense.
So that was my start. That was my start. And from there, I decided I knew I wanted to be on, when I started with skincare, I knew I wanted to be on the clinical medical side of things. So I was hoping to actually, when I was out of school, to work in a doctor's office. And when I couldn't find anyone that was hiring, I opened my own studio and had the doctors come to me.
Wow.
So I had a doctor come in who would do the laser treatments. I had another doctor that would come in and do the injectables. So when I couldn't go to them, I had them come to me and would pick their brain each and every time I was with them. So my facials are basically more set up on the clinical side.
Excellent, excellent. And so before we dive into the facials, what I want to kind of talk about a little bit is what we're all experiencing right now. So, many of us have been potentially at home and certainly not out and about and utilizing businesses, possibly. We've gone through 2 seasons already, right? We've gone through sort of the spring going into summer, and now we're summer into fall. So, I think it's fair to say maybe many of us have not given our skin a lot of attention, amongst other things. So, I'm just wondering, are there any DIY things that we can do during this transition of seasons for ourselves? Any secrets or tips that you have that can help us? Shoot.
Yeah, so and I'm glad you mentioned the seasons because your skin does change with the seasons. When people ask me how often they should get a facial,
Mhm.
I always say winter, spring, summer, and fall,
Okay.
minimum 4 times a year because your skin does change. So yeah, over the last couple of seasons, we have definitely, have seen some changes. Some of us are actually our skin is doing better because those who were commuters into the city or on the subway or having to be in the elements of the environment or their environment around them, when I speak to them, they're saying that their skin is doing better because they're not putting makeup on before they go to work. They're
Oh,
not
makes
taking the
sense.
subway. They're
Makes
not
sense.
having those environmental pollutions around them. And others are just, all right, I've been a junk food junkie. I've been a couch potato. I'm breaking out all over.
Ah.
Kind of goes 50-50 with my clients.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some things to kind of think about and do at home. One, less is more. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can if you are home and you are working from home and you can give your skin a break from makeup,
Yep.
give it a break. Less
Okay.
is more. I always say at least a couple of basic things. Always wash your face twice a day. You want to cleanse, tone, moisturizer. If you're heading outdoors, definitely SPF.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
If you are working on certain problems and you are very acneic, then your skin routine is going to be a little different. And if you are working on anti-aging and you were concerned about wrinkles and lines and growing older, then your skin, we can't change that, but we can do a few things to help it along the way. And that's where serums come in.
Okay.
So I always believe like less is more. So make sure that you are doing a gentle cleanser. Like I've created my own line. I have my own line that I have. It's the Marisa Cleanserizer and Tea Tree Tonic.
Yep.
Just a cleanser and a toner, and they're 2-in-1, so they could be used for multiple things. But also, like if you're home and you want to give your face a little treat, use honey to wash your face with.
Oh, so
Do
cool.
a honey mask. I am very good with my leftover. I kind of eat pretty much a very clean diet.
Yeah.
So if I have an avocado that's left over, instead of letting that avocado turn brown, if I'm not eating it, I want to ingest it first because that's number one.
Okay.
Number two, I'm mashing the rest of that up and making a nice facial mask for later that night.
Wow. So I'm going to back up a little bit. So
Okay.
first of all, I want to address the Marisa cleanser toner that you have. Excuse me, cleanserizer. So I'm going to say, and I don't have to say this, but I'm saying this because you will all find out. I have a terrible poker face. I'm not going to say it unless I believe it. And I've used it religiously since last November. I remember really starting to get into it. And I have to say, super gentle. My makeup comes off so easily. And more than anything is amazing because everything's all natural is it feels like it seals my skin, especially even in the cold weather. And I was saying to somebody, I remember profoundly, I would go out for walks and it would be pretty chilly. Before I walked, every time I lathered up an extra layer of that. It was so protecting for my skin, but never clogged my pores. I never broke out from it, never had a reaction to it. It was sort of like, and the other thing I found with it, it's sort of like I'm a simple kind of person. I don't want too many steps in my life. So you could take that little tub with you, and that's like beginning to end, and then a little SPF, and you're good to go. That's my opinion. So I just want to put that plug in for you.
All right, great.
Yeah, I loved it, and still love it. That I have a question. So what does honey do? So if we're going to put honey on our face, like what does that do for us?
Honey is antibacterial,
Mm,
anti-inflammatory. So honey, like I use honey as a mask. I eat honey.
yeah,
Again, it's
same.
a natural form of sugar, but I put honey in my drinks that I make. I put honey in my oatmeal. I use honey. And again, so take an extra teaspoon of honey, either wash your face with it or use it as a mask. I like to do my self-care Sundays. So again, whatever I have handy on my counter or leftover foods.
Okay,
Uh,
that's
I
great.
Mash them up, put some honey. You could do honey, avocado, and oatmeal. You know,
And
those
the
are,
and the avocado is it the fat that helps the skin moisturizing?
it's a healthy fat. Again, avocados, we know avocados are good for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to be honest, like you can use whatever you want on your face, but if you are not eating a healthy diet,
That was going to be my next point. Yeah.
yes, it's
How
definitely going to show through. Like you have to ingest everything first and then treat from the inside out and then the outside in.
Okay. So you probably more than anybody can attest to the fact that somebody with a healthier diet, you're going to see that in their skin versus somebody who eats a really crappy diet.
You do.
Yeah. So it sounds like, that's definitely and number one. And just question about water and hydration. How important is that in terms of affecting the skin?
Probably number one.
Wow. Yeah.
Right? Probably the most important thing.
Okay.
So hydration is key. If you think about it, our bodies are 70% water. So if you're standing up and you think where 70% of your body comes to, that's mostly water. If you are feeling thirsty, you really are already dehydrated. Most
Yeah,
people
that's
do
true.
not drink enough water. So I've had a rule of thumb for skin and just for everybody, not just for skin, just for health. Half your body weight in ounces. If you are 150 pounds, you need to be drinking 75 ounces of water a day. If you exercise, you need to up that intake. If you are a coffee drinker, it's 2 to 1. So 2 glasses of water to every cup of caffeine. If you drink alcohol, same thing. For every glass of wine, it's 2 more glasses of water on top of the 75 ounces you already have to drink. So that sounds like a lot of water, but honestly, this water should be like slowly throughout the day, not all at once. Like chugging a few bottles does not help with your intake for the day. Drink it slowly throughout the day, and definitely, we used to think if we drink water, if we had water with our meals, that we would get fuller faster and we would eat less. But really, you should not even drink water with your meal. It should be a half hour, an hour before, because you don't want to mess with those digestive enzymes.
Yeah.
And then 30 minutes after. But another key thing with water, like you have to drink a lot of water. I like for skincare and for because I do teach physical fitness.
Yep.
I put electrolytes in my water.
Okay. Yes.
So it's an extra dose of potassium, magnesium, calcium, sodium.
Okay. So
that's what gets into the skin cell and plumps up the skin. So make sure you don't have to add electrolytes. You can make your own electrolytes too. So with different fruits, there's plenty of recipes out there.
Yeah. Okay. That's good and important. I think that's something we forget about. And honestly, again, as we change seasons, we are going into that cooler weather and may less likely be drinking our water, but you can have it at room temperature. It doesn't have to be cold, right? That's always something that we can do. That's an important part.
My water bottle is like a baby bottle. I am lost. I truly am lost without it. Just talking about it right now makes me want to have water. So
by the way, here's my glass of water.
I have water that sits on the kitchen counter. I have one that sits by my bed, and it's in almost every room. There's some type of water bottle. So I just know to drink. And I am like that wilted flower in the morning. The first thing I do, like I do not come alive until I drink water, start to perk up, have my coffee, which I do drink coffee, then boom. Ready to go for the day.
Yeah.
If not, then I know I need extra water too. So the caffeine limit caffeine also. So I'm down to 1 cup of coffee a day where I used to be at 3 cups a day.
So that's a really pretty big improvement in your cups of coffee. Right? Yeah, that's pretty kudos to you. So I kind of have a question. I was just thinking about, if you have clients on both coasts, right? You're seeing clients who A, are living in different geographical areas, but B, are eating very differently. What do you notice? And I know this is a generalization, but just out of curiosity, West Coast clients' skin versus East Coast clients' skin. Is there anything you can differentiate off, the top of your head?
Yes, so I can. And you would think that on the West Coast, normally like two of the worst things that you could do for your skin is suntan, the sun.
Yep.
So sunbathing, I should say, sunbathing.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as a good tan, but we all like a little color. And I'm not going to lie, after being stuck in the house for many months, like when I hit the beach, but I was protected.
Yeah.
So you would think that on the California coast that you would see more sun damage, but I actually see more people with sun damage on the East Coast.
What?
And I really think that is because we only have a certain window. So most people just get out there and take as much sun in as possible.
Oh, makes sense.
Also on the West Coast, I hate to say this, but it is so true. They eat healthier. There are so many healthier options when you walk out your door. So when I say you treat your skin from within first, they're not showing all those signs of sun damage, I believe, because of the foods that they're eating that are protecting their skin.
They're fighting it at a cellular
vitamin
level.
A, they're eating their vitamin C, they're ingesting all of that, and then putting everything topical on. So I do see more sun damage here.
Wow.
Acne is a whole different story. That's a whole different ball game. But I do see, I have to say, pretty much healthier skin because they are into eating, exercising, and their environment around them.
Okay. Interesting.
I know.
Oh, that's wild. I just learned something today for sure. So having said all this, let's say one would want to embark on visiting an esthetician. First of all, tell us exactly what an esthetician does. What is that?
So an esthetician basically is someone who studies skin and knows how to do skincare, facials. Okay. And it can range anywhere from just basic facials to more facials that are on the clinical side. There really is no such thing as a licensed medical esthetician. You can get medically trained, but everyone still holds the same license.
Okay.
So it's just your training. Like I go to the highest training level I can go to without becoming medical on the clinical side, but it's still just the training is medical, but the license is an esthetician all the way around for everyone.
Okay. That helps.
So different estheticians will study different things
and offer different services.
And offer different services.
So if one wanted to come and see you, let's just say we're right now going from the summer season to the fall season. What's something or a few things that you might talk about to address skin needs this time of year?
Okay, so I want your at-home routine to be something easy. All right. Again, don't over cleanse, don't over cleanse, don't overtone, don't over exfoliate. Just be easy on the skin. But you should see, like if you are going to see an esthetician and you want result-oriented facials, I'm not talking, sometimes it's good just to go for that relaxing facial. It just feels good. But I really like result-oriented facials. So what I normally suggest, fall rolls around, I start my fall packages. People come in and I will give them their first facial is usually a dermaplane with something brightening and tightening. They come back and they see me, we do a chemical peel, we do microneedling, and then the fourth treatment is a customized facial to whatever they need at that time. So that's just 4. So I do have some people who only see me for this package that I start to offer fall and winter, because I will not do chemical peels in the summer.
Okay. First of all, what's dermaplaning?
So dermaplaning it's a way to manually exfoliate the skin. So it's done with a little surgical blade. I don't want to scare anyone. It's done with a little blade. What we do is we shave off the dead skin and all the baby vellus hair. So that, because you are doing that with your esthetician, your at-home care should be easy because
Yeah.
you want to keep the integrity of the skin good.
Right.
So you don't want to over exfoliate at home. So we shave off all of the dead skin, all of the vellus hair, and you kind of have this clean palette to work with.
Yeah.
It increases cellular turnover, product penetrates a whole lot more into the skin, and it's probably, you see the results right there and then. So you
Right
walk
then.
out feeling good, and you're
Right.
like, okay, yes, I can
And
feel
it
this.
is painless, correct?
And
So
it
it's not
isn't
like people have,
it's totally
right.
painless. There's no pain involved in this. The only people who should not be doing this
Mhm.
is somebody who is very, very active with acne. And that's
Okay.
the only person I would say, all right, hold up. We don't want to do anything. If anything's inflamed or anything is active, I would not dermaplane.
Okay. So microneedling, what is that?
So microneedling, that's probably that is one of my favorites. Again, I don't want to say no pain, no gain, because there is slight discomfort.
Okay.
Okay. And again, it's your pain tolerance, but the science of this makes sense to me.
Okay.
So with microneedling is there's a couple of different ways. There's microchanneling and microneedling. So there is the one you could do at home. And I suggest that everybody either get a little handy roller or facial stamper with the microneedles on them. So these microneedles, they are little microscopic needles, either on a stamper or on a roller, that once you press or roll into the face, they create these little microscopic, I don't want to say holes, but little microscopic, you're rolling a little needle.
A little opportunity, microscopic opportunities.
So again, they're just so tiny and so small, but if you kind of think about aerating a garden,
Okay, yes.
and then planting the seeds and feeding that garden, that's exactly what you're doing to the skin.
Oh.
So if you're at home, this is great at home care. This is great to just make the skin, give it a healthy glow. Plus your product penetrates 300 times more.
Oh, wow.
So when you are doing the medical needling or the deeper needling, this is done with an automated pen. The automated pen goes a little deeper, but your esthetician or dermatologist or whomever is doing it it has different adjustable settings that it might be a 0.5 millimeter to 0.75 millimeters up to 1 millimeter, depending on where the face that you can adjust the needle length. When I say the needle length or the needle depth. So it goes a little deeper. And I don't want to say, again, no pain, no gain, because there is slight discomfort. People know this as the vampire facial. Then once these little microscopic channels there, the skin will absorb everything, but the deeper you go, the more it stimulates the collagen. Once the body, it sees the body as being wounded and it says, ooh, let's fix this. And it sends collagen. So that's probably my favorite treatment. Again, not one you want to overdo. You don't want to just dermaplane. You don't want to just microneedle. These are synergistic. They work hand in hand. Each and every treatment. After the fourth facial, people are like, oh, that fourth treatment made my skin feel really good. No, it's all three of the three other treatments leading up to it. And this was the big surprise. Oh, now it feels good.
Now it's fabulous.
Yeah, and now it's up to you to do the home care to keep it that way.
So I'm just curious about that microneedling. How long does that process when you're actually laying there getting it done, and B, what's the recovery time from something like that? How does that work?
So it really only takes about a half hour. I remember when I first started doing it, I was going nice and slow, and I was just being trained and I was taking my time, but my clients were, I felt bad for my clients. Now, once you get the hang of it, now I can buzz through. I know, where I should be working, what I should do. So it's a half hour.
Yeah. Okay.
A half hour. When you leave, you are going to be super red. No lie, super red. I always tell people, come see me at night. That way I can just put the product on, you go home, you go to bed, you're going to be red and tight for a couple of days, and everyone's skin is different. So some people are good 24 hours later. Yeah. Some people's redness will last up to 3 days later. But the results are, you know, it takes time to see the results. And even after one treatment, it's still working up to 3 months later.
Wow.
So
Wow. It's sort of the treatment that lasts forever that go, well,
it
not
does.
forever, but
But
one treatment goes on, you
it
get the
goes on for
effects.
a while.
Yeah.
So I really suggest, like, so if you are working on a scar, because it will help with scars the deeper you go, then I would need to see you more often. But again, if you're doing the dermaplane, then the microneedling, then a chemical peel, and then just a nice rejuvenating facial, you will see the difference. And it's a little bit of everything and not overdone by one thing.
Yeah.
So this is for the person who is, like, we're not working on one thing.
Right. This is a myriad of offering. Well, treatments that obviously has, I mean, it kind of makes sense though. I mean, I kind of think that that's along the lines of everything. If you get surgery, right, there's rehab and then there's something else. And then all of a sudden your knee is better. There's like some steps to it to get the final product or the final result. And so this sounds like the same thing. Um, so so a couple things, we talked about um, the importance of good water. We talked about the importance of good food. I kind of want to just touch on the fitness to facials portion, which we didn't talk about because that's also super important, right? We're talking about fitness, exercise. And so how does that affect, what is that exactly, and how does that affect us?
So again, taking care of the body from the inside out. One way to do it is to eat well.
Yep.
Another way to do it is to exercise and get that body functioning the best. It should, like, at 100%. Why not?
Yep.
So exercise is never a bad thing. It's always a good thing. So when we exercise, what happens? We sleep better. That's going to show up on our skin. Number two, you are getting that blood pumping throughout your body. You're making your internal organs strong. The heart's beating faster. The heart's getting stronger. And think of what exercise does. After we exercise, it's like a great way to distress. Like, that's my way of, people are always like, oh, you're so nice. And I'm like, if I didn't exercise, I would not be nice. I would be like, that is my way to let my stress go, is to exercise. Like, when I don't exercise, I get very cranky. And when I'm cranky and I'm stressed, stress is going to show on your skin. Stress does so much to your body. You know this, Christine, what the stress can do to a person.
Yeah.
So it's what you teach, talk about, and keep us sane and keep us where we need to be.
I try to. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm sane. Yeah, that's very important. I mean, I think it's great. It's interesting, right? And this is why I say you're like this rainbow, because it's not just about the skin. It's about everything else. And it's like, I think it's life. It's like what we all bring to the table. Wherever we are now, well, we took about, 50 different roads to get there, right? It's life. So for you, all of these different roads and experiences you've had, and still what you continue to do, bring you here. But that's what makes you so good at what you do, important. And I like all of the different aspects. I've been around a few times, and sometimes, in terms of facials and whatnot, and I think I've mentioned this. Sometimes people are just looking at the skin and they're not addressing anything else or bringing any of that into the conversation. And I know, and I've learned from you how important all of those elements are. So, kudos to you, Marissa. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I just see it as sometimes people will spend $250 on a serum for their skin, but they don't exercise. They're a couch potato. They're a junk food junkie. That $200 bottle of serum is not going to do anything. It really is internal first. And that's number one. And just number two, just taking care of everything. Like, this is our house. And when I see people, or I talk to people, and we talk about lifestyle and skincare and what they're doing, I see them like, this is your home. This is the home that you have to take care of first. I see them dumping money into their homes that they live in. Their yards are nice and manicured. They're buying this brand new thing for the house. They've got a brand new car and they're babying their car, but they're letting themselves go. Take care of this first. Nothing materialistic, no amount of expensive serum is going to work if you don't take care of the home that you live in.
Yeah, so well said.
The home, your body being the home.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm just curious, what's your routine? So what's Marissa's routine?
So I am very simple. All right. So I have my products. So I use my Marispa cleanser, which is a cleanser and a moisturizer. It's a cleanser and a moisturizer. It started out when I formulated this, it was supposed to be a nighttime moisturizer.
Okay.
And as I was going through all my formulations, one day I just picked it up by mistake because I had like 15 different creams in front of me, different things I was testing. And I picked it up and I thought it was my cleanser and I put it all over my face and I washed my face and I'm like, wow, I love this. And then I looked and I was like, oh, that was supposed to be my nighttime moisturizer. So I added some cleansing oils to it. And that became, so the cleansing oils with the moisturizer became my cleanserizer.
Gotcha.
So I cleanse, tone, serum, moisturize. That is my daily routine. If I am going on vacation and I can only pack a couple of things, it's my cleanserizer and my tea tree tonic.
Okay.
So the tea tree, so I cleanserizer.
Yep.
I tone with my tea tree tonic. My tea tree tonic has micelles in it. And what micelles do is they have two different heads. The lipophilic head and the hydrophilic head. So a lipophilic head in a micelle, what that does, it attracts dirt and oil.
Okay.
And the other head, the hydrophilic head, is what will attract water. So moisturize the skin. So basically micelles are oil suspended in water, but they have two jobs that they do. So in the tea tree is very antiseptic, anti-inflammatory. You put that with the micelles, it picks up the dirt and the debris from your face. So I cleanse, tone. If I'm on vacation, my cleanserizer goes right back on my face. But now that I'm working on some anti-aging and I need a little step up, 50s or like, I'm starting to see the signs of in my middle, like I'm going to be 56 this year and I see it.
56. So, well, listen, the rest of us don't see it because you look beautiful.
So with the skincare, with my serums, like I need to pick a serum, but this is where I have always been East meets West as far as like diet, medical advice, and skincare too. But my serums need to have like things that are clinically proving. So for anti-aging. So we hear of things as growth factors, we hear of stem cells, and we hear of things, the new buzzword, which everybody will be hearing, is exosomes. So these are things like these are just created, stem cells are either plant-based, marine-based, or from animal proteins. Okay. So stem cells come from three, or they're man-made, I should say. So know what stem cells, human growth factors are the best. Exosomes are a new keyword. I'm still looking into them to study them a little bit more. I still haven't gotten the term exosome down, but I believe it's like the rebirth of a stem cell, and it's able to communicate with the skin cells a little bit better than just a growth factor.
Wow. Do you put together your own serum, or are you using?
So I use serums from, it's a company called Anti-Age, which they do human growth factors.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and these human growth factors come from bone marrow.
Wow.
So human bone marrow. So again, I have used plant-based. I have used stem cells from lilacs. I've used all the plant-based. I've used bovine from cow. So, but I really feel like human growth factors are going to work better on humans. And
gotcha.
If you can't get the human growth factors and you want to do bovine, some people like the bovine. So I carry a line called Environ that has their colostrum gel Anti-Age is the one with the human growth factors. Cosmeticals has stem cells from plants. So there's so much to choose from, and it can be very, very confusing. It can even be confusing to estheticians because we are bombarded with stuff every day.
Oh, I'm
People
sure.
are sending things, what's good. It's kind of like exercise and nutrition. What was once good for you is now bad for you. If it was bad for you, it's now good for you.
Yeah.
Same skincare. So you have to do your homework.
Wow. You're not kidding. But you know what?
I do the homework. Like
You do
that's
the
why I
homework.
want the best serums, and I want to find out what's best. Everything, cleanse, tone, all that should just be natural and simple. But again, if you're looking for anti-aging, you want the right serum. If you're looking for acne, to clear up acne, you want the right products for that.
Okay.
And the
Interesting.
right ingredients.
Okay. So, folks, this is what I say. Go to a professional right there. That's what I say. Sometimes I always like to say, whoops, just lost this. I don't know everything, that's for sure, but I like to go to the people who do know much more than I do and who are professional in what they're doing. And boy, you know what you're doing. So you're right. It can be complicated. Uh, but you do make a good point. Start out as simple. Simple is best. If you want to embellish on that and dive a little deeper, the opportunities are there. But if you're going to do it with a professional. It sounds to me. I know just walking into a drugstore, I get overwhelmed. So I can't even imagine, for the quality of products that you guys get inundated with.
It is. It's a lot, and it still is. It's always a learning process, and you always have to be on top of things.
Yeah.
And it
So,
changes all the time.
yeah, well, that's true. Definitely. So before we close, a few things for people who want to find you and find your product. What should people do? Where should they go?
All right. So my studio is the Village Skin Studio, Cornwall on Hudson in New York, Village Skin Studio. I write blogs on fitness to facials, about fitness and about facials. So it's fitness to facials will eventually become my business when I move to the West Coast, which,
Okay.
yeah. So my goal is to get there, but my goal is to teach health classes that are kind of kind to the body, Tai Chi, Qigong, breathing exercises. And if I could teach from the beach, even better.
Oh, great.
To do facials, to do, again, clinical, more on the clinical side. I am
Okay.
East meets West
Yeah.
all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to stay with the cleaner products, the cleaner, simpler, easier products. So people could find me at Village Skin Studio. You could always go to fitnesstofacials.com. My skincare line is Marisa Skincare. It's gender neutral. I forgot to mention that. So my skincare, it's for men and women. Like
Perfect.
men need to take care of their skin too.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Great. Well, I really appreciate the time you've given us today because discovering your ideal body is about what's going to work for you on many different levels. So today it was skin, and it was a little bit about health around the skin and how that can come through with our skin. But also very important, it's what the world sees at first, right?
It is. It is. And it's what we see and what we feel too.
Yep.
So again, it's kind of a lot to digest, and we covered a little bit of everything, but if anybody ever has any questions, they can just feel free to reach out to me.
Great, perfect. And we'll put Marisa's information below in the comments section so you'll have all of her information on how to get her. We hope you enjoyed this podcast today. Thank you so much again, Marisa. It was a ton of great information, and I always appreciate your knowledge. So thanks very much.
Oh, thank you, my friend.
Okay, everybody, take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.